It must be open season for test mules. Yesterday we got spy shots of the upcoming 2022 Lexus NX. Today I'm bringing you guys spy shots of the 2022 J300 Land Cruiser. And not only that, rumors are swirling again that a V8 could be returning to the Land Cruiser. Welcome back, Lexurious Fleet. If you're excited, smash the like button for the Land Cruiser that's supposed to be out, or at least if you're in Australia or Japan in the early part of 2021. But let's get right into it. Over at Cars Guide, your first look at the Toyota Land Cruiser 300 spy pic reportedly captures off-road testing, but you'll have to squint. All right, so there's the image. We'll break it down in a little bit. This is actually coming from MagX, which I talk about all the time. They're a scoop site. This was actually posted on their forums by just an average person who's out there on the streets. More specifically, this was on the island of Honshu on Japan's Tomei Expressway. And going over to autoindustria.com, I think that's how you say it, they have an extra picture for us. So unfortunately, the first ever spy shot of the Land Cruiser out on the streets, it was from a potato. This picture is absolutely terrible, but we'll do our best to decipher the front end of this upcoming Land Cruiser. Okay, so the grill. The grill looks big. I would say it's roughly the same dimensions of the current grill. Some people think it's bigger, but yeah, I mean, it's camouflaged. Now, the daytime running lights are in a similar position than the current daytime running lights on the current Land Cruiser, of course. However, these daytime running lights are super bright. They fold up around the nighttime lights, and there could be camouflage cutting off the wraparound. Based off of the renders we got, the daytime running lights are supposed to come up a little bit further. And then I don't know what these white spots are. It could just be a cutout for sensors, maybe some sort of parking sensors, or I don't know, level 2 or 3 autonomous driving. But down below is what people are thinking are the fog lights. But it's really hard to tell. If they are the fog lights, they're a little bit higher than what we were estimating on the renders that we got from MagX anyways. They're supposed to be a little bit lower. Again, there's so much camouflage, it's really hard to decipher here. I do expect there still to be the U to come around like we're seeing in the renders. And scrolling down on the same website, we get an image I hadn't seen before, and I couldn't find it anywhere else in any other web page. So this is still an Auto Industria, and they have a rear shot of what looks to be the Land Cruiser 300. And there's so much decoy body panels in here that it's not helping us at all. We know it has 4 doors, and we know it's big. That's all really what we can see. This would be a dual exhaust, of course, one here and then one on the other side, really large exhaust enclosures. But other than that, there's nothing really to tell from either of these images. So although it's exciting, we're getting spy shots, not only of the Land Cruiser, but the Lexus NX, and I would expect both of them to be debuted in the first half of 2021. Probably the Land Cruiser actually in the coming month or two, because it's supposed to go on sale in April in Japan. But there's a rumor resurfacing, swirling around about a V8 returning, and this caught me off guard the other day. Take this with a grain of salt, because I personally don't feel that the V8 could return, but let's read into it. Next gen Land Cruiser 300 series could get rock crushing 450 kilowatt twin turbo V8 engine. Now, of course, we've hypothesized about this. 450 kilowatts is roughly that 600 horsepower that we were expecting in the LCF or the LSF that never materialized. And in fact, that race car that was supposed to have that twin turbo V6, I believe it was at the 24 Hours of Nürburgring, that whole thing was canceled from Toyota. They just pulled out because that was in the thick and the beginnings of the Rona hitting last spring. What does motoring have to say here? New Intel suggests a Japanese brand is considering a V8 engine in future for its flagship 4x4 wagon, and it's not a diesel. As we know, they're killing the 1VD twin turbo V8 in the Land Cruiser. While the new Toyota Land Cruiser series will get a brand new 6-cylinder turbo diesel, we're hearing 3.3 liter V6, and it will replace the V8. Also, that V6 could be the same V6 that Mazda has been rumored to be working on. It could be the exact same engine. I've been hearing that as well. Now, it's supposed to have similar power and torque with a 3.3 liter V6 diesel as the outgoing 4.5 liter V8 diesel. Now, a source with knowledge of the next gen Land Cruiser told car sales in all new petrol V8 is possible. And they go on to say that the petrol V8 is not out of the question. So I think it's time to go over to the spreadsheet, the TNJF spreadsheet that I've been modifying. Now these powertrains here are potentially on the Prado, the upcoming Prado redesign, as well as the Land Cruiser 300, and of course some other Lexus and Toyota vehicles, which we'll see in a little bit. The diesel hybrid. Now I've also heard rumors it could be an inline 4, but let's just say it's a 3.3 liter diesel, twin turbo diesel. I'm expecting 250 horsepower and 462 pound-feet of torque. Sorry, I didn't convert that to kilowatts or newton meters quite yet. The standard engine for the Land Cruiser 300 will be the 3.44 liter B35A FTS, around 400 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque. And I did convert those for you guys overseas into metrics. Now we're also going to get a twin turbo V6 hybrid, and it could be either one of these depending on how aggressive they want to go with electrification on it, but we will see a nice uptick in power and torque with the hybrid as well as efficiency. Now here's a twin turbo V8, 4 liter twin turbo V8, 10-speed automatic, 600 horsepower, 600 pound-feet of torque. It's still a possibility, and I don't know what to think. I'm honestly feeling that it's never going to happen at this rate. Japan's killing internal combustion engines by 2035. I know that's a ways down the road, but yeah, it's hard for me to believe that the V8 would be returning to the worldwide markets, especially as things are cramping down on large displacement engines. Even though 4 liters isn't that large, it will be large in 5 years from now. So it's hard for me to see that it existing in the future. And then of course you could have a twin turbo V8 plug-in hybrid, immense amounts of power, 700 horsepower. Again, unlikely, but this would be one way for the V8 to survive, is that you electrify it and you get crazy efficiency out of it and crazy amounts of power, supercar powers underneath the hood of a Land Cruiser or a Tundra or a Lexus LX, LC, LS, etc. And guys, what do you think about that? V8 and the Land Cruiser? Of course, we all want it. No one's going to say no to it except governments and research and development. The consumer doesn't have the choice anymore, sadly, because of the restrictions being put on large displacement engines and emissions around the world. And like I said, no real information from those spy shots. The one from the rear, even though it's high resolution, so much decoy body panels in it that we don't really get anything. And the potato image, we get an idea of the daytime running lights, maybe some placement of the fog lights and nighttime lights, and really we don't have a whole lot to go off after. But it is exciting nonetheless. And one last thing before I let you guys go, I thought this was interesting. The Kia Sedona could be getting the axe here, which I hypothesized because the Kia Optima got the axe and replaced with the K5, largely because of what I feel is all the recalls, the fire recalls on the Optima just didn't have a good image anymore. And maybe that could be happening with the Sedona. They're just going to rename it the Carnival to match the overseas naming of the same vehicle. Again, no all-wheel drive likely to come to the United States in this massive people mover. V6 around 300 horsepower, just under. No hybrids mentioned. 8-speed automatic, I believe. And yeah, it's gonna be a tough sell because all-wheel drive is going to be available as well as hybrids available on the Sienna and the Pacifica, and not the Odyssey. But guys, I'll end it there. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you're subscribed for more information on the Land Cruiser. I talk about it probably 2 or 3 times a month. I make a video on the Land Cruiser on the most recent talkings, rumors, spy shots at this point in time. And as we get closer to the official reveal, things are going to be ramping up. And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of my coverage on it. I'll see you guys, like I said, in the comments, and have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching. And we're getting closer to 100K. I just hit 92. Man, it's so odd. You guys are amazing. Thank you, Lexurious Fleet. Have a wonderful day. Peace out.